I have another lecture on isotopes that I'll refer you to. Briefly, isotopes are atoms of the same element, but yet they are different. Atoms of the same element will always have the same number of protons in the nucleus, but they can have different numbers of neutrons. We can report different isotopes by using nuclear symbols. Here, X is the elemental symbol. The elemental symbol, of course, comes from the periodic table. I'm using this periodic table from AMEP. And in this periodic table, you'll see the nuclear symbols as these bold letters. To the left subscript, we have the Z. This represents the atomic number. And the atomic number is the number of protons in the nucleus. On the left superscript, we see the letter A. And this is important for identifying isotopes. This represents the mass number. Simply put, the mass number is the number of protons plus the number of neutrons in the nucleus. If there is a net charge, we will report it in the upper right-hand superscript. I always tell my students, we'll always assume a neutral isotope, in other words, a zero charge. If there is a charge, it must be represented here in this section. The net charge can be calculated as simply the protons minus electrons. Let's do some examples. Let's practice identifying isotopes and writing nuclear symbols by filling out this table. Tables like this are pretty common in a general chemistry course. In our first example, we start with the letter C. We start with the nuclear symbol, and we have to fill in the rest of the table. There's no order that you have to go in. For example, the number 6 here represents the atomic number. By definition, this is the number of protons in the nucleus, so we can put a 6 here. The other thing that stands out to me, if there is a net charge, if this is an ion and there is a charge, it has to be written here. There's nothing written here, that means that the net charge must be 0. And that's important because that tells us the number of electrons present. Protons, remember, are positively charged. Electrons are negatively charged. If there are 6 protons in the nucleus, we must have 6 electrons outside the nucleus to give us a net charge of 0. And finally, how do we find the number of neutrons? Well, remember, isotopes are atoms of the same element, but they can have different numbers of neutrons. So what type of isotope of carbon is this? We can tell from the mass number 13 that there are 7 neutrons in the nucleus because the protons plus the neutrons must equal the mass number. So right here, 13 minus 6 will give us 7 neutrons in the nucleus. Let's go to the next example. In this case, we do not have the nuclear symbol. We need to go find it. We're also given the number of neutrons in the nucleus. We're given the number of protons and the net charge. I can start here. Because the net charge is 0 and there are 10 protons in the nucleus, that means there must be 10 electrons outside the nucleus. Now let's practice writing the nuclear symbol. The number of protons in the nucleus is the atomic number, so we'll look for atomic number 10, and that is the noble gas neon. Because there is no net charge, we don't need to report any net charge at the top right-hand corner. The atomic number in some cases can be omitted, but in this example, I'll go ahead and include it. the atomic number is 10. I say that the atomic number can be excluded. If you don't have the atomic number, as long as you have the symbol, you'll be able to tell what the atomic number is based on the periodic table. And the mass number is the protons plus the neutrons. This is 20. Let's go to the next example. Again, 27 protons, 27 electrons. That means our net charge must be 0. For our nuclear symbol, 27 protons gives us the atomic number 27 on our periodic table. Here's cobalt. Because there's no net charge, I don't need to report any net charge in the top right-hand corner. Our atomic number goes in the left subscript. And the mass number is the protons plus the neutrons. So 27 and 23 is 50. Let's close out this table with our last example, titanium, Ti, with an atomic number of 22. Titanium has an atomic number of 22. There's no net charge in the upper right-hand corner, so our net charge is 0. If there's 22 protons in the nucleus, there must be 22 electrons outside the nucleus. And the number of neutrons, we'll take our mass number, 48, which is the protons plus the neutrons. We'll subtract the number of protons. And what's left over is 26 neutrons. Now in these examples, you noticed I gave you net charges of 0. Now let's practice identifying isotopes that are also ions. So now let's practice identifying isotopes that are also ions. You'll notice in our first example, Fe is iron, and in the upper right-hand corner, there is a net charge. This is something we didn't see in the last few examples. This is a 2+, so the net charge here, we'll write 2+. The number of protons in the nucleus is the atomic number. We'll call this 26. Now let's look at the number of electrons. We do know that because there is a net charge, the number of protons and the number of electrons will be uneven. Because the charge is positive, there's more protons than electrons. In fact, there are 2 more protons than electrons. And so right here, we should have 24. We can check our work. Remember, net charge is simply the protons minus electrons. You can see here 26 minus 24 is positive 2. And for the neutrons in the nucleus, we'll take our mass number. Recall the mass number is the protons plus the neutrons. So we'll subtract the protons. And that will give us the number of neutrons, 27. In the next example, we have sulfide, the ion, with a 2 negative charge. So the net charge here is 2 negative. The atomic number is 16. That gives us the protons in the nucleus. We can tell from the net charge, because it's negative, we'll have more electrons than protons. In fact, 2 more electrons than protons. So how many electrons? 18. Again, we can check our work. You'll notice the difference here. 16 minus 18 gives us that net negative 2 charge. Neutrons in the nucleus, we'll take our mass number and subtract the protons. This gives us 18 neutrons in the nucleus. For the next example, we do not have the nuclear symbol, so we need to go find it. But let me start with the net charge here. You do notice that there are more electrons than protons, so we know we'll have a net negative charge. We can check it here, 9 minus 10. That's going to give us a net 1 negative. For our nuclear symbol, the number of protons is the atomic number, so we'll look for 9. So 9 is fluorine. Now be careful here. F is fluorine, however, this does have a net charge. We'll write a negative sign. You don't have to write the number 1. Whenever there's a negative 1 or plus 1, you can just write the symbol. So this represents negative 1. And for the anion, we change the suffix. So a little bit of naming rules here. This is fluoride. Atomic number is 9. And the mass number is the protons plus the neutrons, 19. And finally, our last example, number of protons in the nucleus is 13. This is atomic number 13. On our periodic table, element 13 is aluminum. The mass number is the protons plus the neutrons, 15. The mass number is the protons plus the neutrons. 13 and 15 is 28. And we know that the net charge is a 3 plus. So how many electrons? 3 plus net charge tells us there are 3 more protons than electrons. So there should be fewer electrons by 3. So 10 electrons. We can check our work. 13 minus 10 is 3 plus.